fighting for freedom, writing for freedom, trapped in between the transparent lines of revolutionary thought and disorganized actions. Worldviews skewed like kaleidoscopic optical illusions of opportunity, which look pretty, but truthfully are just mirrored pieces of confetti. Hopes and human potential shredded long before we were torn away as babes suckling our sacred mother's breast milk used to do the body good, until they weaned us away from nature's nourishment. Replaced our motherly intuition of life's knowledge with baby formula. A formula of basic aspects of brainwashing you. Even in embryonic stages, we form the capacity to view the world backwardly. Part heaven's lips without language, circle the sun once to find our way again. Navigate the galaxy like Flash Gordon. I believe I can fly, even without New Jordans. Even without valid definitions of our masculinity. And even though they slay, imprison, and castrate me, I'll continue to impact history for the upliftment of humanity, like Martin on the balcony, like Mumia incarcerated in Philly, like Emmett Till's body in an open casket for the world to see, lingering attitudes of lynching and brutality. And even if death catches me, I'll come back like Garvey in a whirlwind. And I wonder what secrets are captured in the wind of the hurricane, and storm and rain. Scorn and pain through tears cried from unknown lives lost in an African Holocaust bloodstain, coloring the canvas of America's reality. A history not completely erased, just concealed. Imagine what would happen if the truth were revealed, if we peeled back the layers of lies since its conception, the deception of a false democracy, fake land of liberty, born to the world under stolen identity, unconvicted of its crimes against humanity, creating a system of normalized insanity and criminalized normality where wealth and resource are controlled by a minority. Class contradiction. The masses forced to live in impoverished restriction, victims of a post-traumatic enslavement syndrome. Now, how the hell are you going to displace someone from their home and call it a discovery? Not so cleverly covered up the lies of Columbus's treachery, yet they named their colonies after Amerigo Vespucci. It doesn't make sense to me. Capitalist propaganda, purposely propagated to perpetuate powerlessness in a people. E pluribus unum. Out of many, one. Nation of unequal rights, justice, and opportunities for those who classified themselves as superior. And we believe them. Like George Washington never told a fib, or Eve was created from one of Adam's ribs, or the syndrome of acquired immune deficiency started from the bite of an African green monkey. They secretly stashed away the key to unlock the chamber of secrets at Fort Detrick that tell the truth that synthetic biological agents are real. Ask the Lakota or the Abenaki how smallpox feels when received in the guise of warmth from blankets given as gifts from the U.S. Army. Or ask the victims of syphilis from that experiment at Tuskegee, the Manchurian Candidate. Agent Orange wasn't experimental or accidental. They planned it and programmed us to kill each other whenever they commanded. From the grind on the block to the Iraqi front lines, we're externally and internally behind enemy lines, fighting a war to reclaim our hearts and our minds. These truths will never hold self-evident in the textbooks of their history. Somebody, please tell me, what does George W. and a cherry tree have to do with education? About as much as George W. and the reason behind gas prices inflation. You see, they both lied about it. But this time around, there's no doubt about it that we'll all have to do something about it. And I'm not talking about no fake Florida ballot boxes. November 7th, 2000 should have taught you and me that a vote is a weapon to be used wisely and not squandered away on some elephant or a donkey. Because either way, we both end up a jackass. We no longer can afford to make the mistakes of our past, and we must get past this hold hands and sing, because the blood of our ancestors is listening for the battle cry to come to our defense. And we cannot bow down in blissful ignorance or wickedness like Fidel faces American terrorism without fear. Like the indigenous peoples of this hemisphere for over 500 years. No trail of tears, blood, or sweat formed from flesh of my flesh has caused me to be afraid to face death yet. So I can see that our freedom is at hand. But from the way it all looks, we better start taking it seriously, because it's already gotten wilder in the bush.